So welcome back to another video. Unfortunately, we're still stuck in lockdown, so videos still happening from inside. We've been making a lot of serious videos recently. I wanted to bring you guys something that's a little bit different, a little bit more light-hearted. So we're going to be looking at basically 5 of the worst putters, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. So this is just visually. Some of them might perform really well. I've actually played with a couple of these, I'm a little bit embarrassed to say. And you know what, they're good putters, but design-wise, they are, I think, personally, pretty hideous to look at. So 5 putters, let's get into it. It's all good fun. So before we get into the video, if you could hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. We're looking through our stats and we're still about 97% of people haven't yet subscribed that are watching our videos. So if you do find yourself coming back each week and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please do. We appreciate it. We're trying to obviously build our subscribers as much as we can so we can start to do this more on a permanent basis. So then, number 1 of the 5 ugliest putters that I've ever seen is the Nike Method concept. Now, the worst thing with this is I particularly like Nike as a brand. I like the clothing, I like the shoes, what they're doing in the golf industry is amazing. However, back in 2012, Nike released a putter. And this was at the time when they were making a lot of golf clubs. They had all their drivers, their irons, and they started making putters, and they released the Nike Method concept. I'm gonna load a picture of it here so that if you don't know what I'm on about, you can see it. Here. Yeah, here. Now, its design is interesting to say the least. Most putters are symmetrical. This one isn't. As you can see by the heel, it's got this really weird angle on the steel bar that runs around the back. Now, this was an interesting time for putters in general. This is a time when MOI was a really big thing in putters. And basically what they did is they tried to put as much weight as close to the back of the putter as possible, leaving the face light so it's really stable. But you can see they've done this and it's not the best looking thing in the world. I think the weighting wise, it's stainless steel, I have a thing at the back, and it's super light at the front. I think it's like 75% of the weight is at the back of the putter. However, as you can see, visually, it's not very pretty. Now, they did also make a Masters concept version that's this. Yeah, not feeling the green, sorry. So the second putter then to grace us with its presence was the Ping 17 Dock, or the Ping Dock 17. Now, some of you won't have been playing golf at that point and will have missed this thing. However, I'm sure if you walked into a pro shop around the date this was released, you couldn't miss it. The thing is enormous. It's 17 centimeters in diameter. Just let that sink in for a second. 17 centimeters. It's 6.7 inches from heel to toe. I've got a picture of it next to some golf balls, which you'll see. It is massive. Considering a hole is 3 balls across, this thing is over 4 balls across. It's massive. Now, don't get me wrong, I was reading reviews on this when I was searching this earlier on, and people are saying it's a really good putter, and I have no doubt it's a good putter. It's going to be so stable, it's going to feel like you can't miss from 3 feet. However, it's massive, and it's fairly ugly. It's not that much for a pretty design. So the picture as well from the face, I've got a picture, you can see the length of it compared to a shaft. Oh, it does make you cringe a bit. So yeah, so number 3. Now, personally, I've really struggled to get my head around this putter. Now, Odyssey is who released this putter, and it's a putter that you see it and you see what they've done, but you almost think, why? Now, when you think of an Odyssey putter, I'll give you a second. Think of one Odyssey putter in your head. Now, 90% of you at this point would have said a 2-ball. A 2-ball is probably one of the most popular putters Odyssey has ever made. There are so many other brands that have copied a 2-ball design and not quite got it right. However, Odyssey, in around 2006, decided to take it one step further and introduced the Odyssey White Steel Tribal. Just have a look at the picture here. This putter again is enormous. I am so pleased they have got away from making putters of this size and this scale in modern day. I mean, you almost look at it now and think, you know, the Ping, don't get wrong, is massive. That is the biggest putter I've ever seen. And it's such a shame that they made that when they make such other putters that are so pretty. But then with Odyssey, they've gone down the same route. They had a 2-ball putter that works incredibly well. It's beautiful. It's been lovely in all ages. The design hasn't changed. And then they take it into a 3-ball. Obviously, the idea of this is to get the weight as close to the car park as possible and away from the golf ball. And that's fine, and it does work, and it has some method behind it. But notice no players are using it on the tour today. Notice they haven't brought that design back today. It's just an interesting thing when perhaps development maybe goes too far and they push the boundaries too far and actually it no longer looks appealing to putt with. Now, don't get me wrong, Odyssey makes some fantastic putters. Their current range at the moment, the stuff is absolutely stunning. The number 7 for me is one of the best putters ever made, and I will be doing a video on that. But I think they just got it wrong with this one. I think it's just too big, and yeah, for me, it's just hideous. So, number 4 is the Ben Ross Innovator stand-up putter. I mean, this is something that I never thought would be invented, and then it was invented, and I'm just displeased that it was invented. The stand-up putter, I mean, the clue's in the name, isn't it, as to what it does? I mean, first off, looking at the Pixfit, this thing is so thick. It's like this tall off the floor, and it makes such a ting. I don't even remember the old Cobra drivers when they were around. It sounds like one of those off a putter. It's just not an appealing noise. However, the thing that it does really well, and I'm going to load up the picture here at the same time so you can see a genuine reaction to this, and I'll load it here, is that it stands up without anybody touching it. The idea being, as you can see from this view, is that you can stand behind it and line the putt up. I hope that I never ever play with anybody that's using that, because I don't think I'll be able to control my emotions. Laughter would just kick in. Just the idea of somebody going, that's what I need. So I can stand back and it's going to stand itself up and I can align it, and then I'll go in and hit it. It's a no from me. I mean, look at the height of it as well. It's nearly the height of the golf ball. That is a hideous looking thing. And I remember actually using that in a pro shop where I played at the time. And this is the reason why a lot of these putters are on here. I have seen them and putted with them in the past. I mean, it's just, even then, I thought it was a bit hideous. And it's standalone, which I mean, we thought was probably about 13 or something when this released. And it was quite funny. But you look at it now and think, no. Let's hope that that isn't ever made again. But let me know in the comments below, do you want a putter that self-stands? Do you think you'd find that useful? I mean, the idea is kind of cool that it self-stands, but in practice, I mean, you look at it and think, no. I mean, you couldn't turn up to imagine what your mates would say if you turned up and used that on the first green. You know, you get enough stick for a new driver, never mind that thing. So yeah, we'll move on. So number 5 then, we're looking at a brand that I know and love, okay? I'll be the first one to say I like this brand. I currently putt with a putter from this brand. The new putters they are releasing are fantastic. They are one of the best putters, I think personally, ever made. However, like everyone, they have made mistakes and tried to maybe chase things that they don't need to chase. And I think that this putter is an example of that. Now, I currently do use one of these putters. I have one of their blade putters and it's amazing. It's a 2014 Newport 2, so for those of you that know, you'll know exactly what brand's coming. However, this putter, when it came out, it's pretty ghastly. And it's the Scotty Cameron Futura, which was released in 2003. Now, I have a feeling that this is one of the putters that kick-started this whole trend of huge size, which is partly why I've left it until the end. Now the idea is you have that stainless steel horseshoe round the back that's really heavy, and then you keep the rest of the putter light. Again, the weight's further back, makes it act a lot larger than what it is and stable. This putter is already massive. You can't really get a putter much bigger than this one. It's also pretty ugly to look at. Now don't get me wrong, it's got some amazing features in it. The bottom of the putter stops it from opening or closing, it sits square, it sits well. But the way it looks, you almost can't forgive it for the technology that's in there. You understand what they're doing, you get it, but I don't think you buy one. You know, you look at the Futura range now, they're so much prettier than this. And yes, you know, everyone's got a starting point. You go back to some of our first videos on here, I mean, they weren't great. We're getting better, but you know, we're still not where we want to be in terms of video quality. Now, the amazing thing is with this putter, hit the market in 2003, had its first PGA Tour win in 2003. So the thing obviously works, it's just not very pretty. And you notice that there's not many of them about being gamed now. Guys, there is a bonus putter. I've literally just had this sent in to me and I thought it was quite funny and I thought, you know what, I have to include it. I play this brand's irons and in fairness, since they've made this, they have come on a long way. They are known for some of the best feeling irons in the industry. It's a brand that I really like. I like their products. I like their ethos, certainly behind their irons and the way they're made and the whole process and things behind them. However, again, everyone gets it wrong and they started doing putters. I'm pretty certain they linked up with Bettinardi at one point and that was their version of their putters. And Bettinardi putters are absolutely beautiful. Some of the nicest feeling putters in the world and they look stunning. However, Mizuno decided to bring out a putter called the QD-100 and here it is. Now, is it me or is there so much going on that putter? You've got the face with some weird ridges on it. You then have two bars going around the outside which look like they're made out of carbon fibre. Then with the weight at the back with 3 dots on it. You then have a semicircle with a line in it. What are you lining up to? I mean, the other bad thing with this is you can't even pick the ball up with the back of that because the rings are so big around the outside, you couldn't scoop a ball up. So that is literally all there to put the weight a long way back. Now, the other thing I don't like about this, and yes, Mizuno are known for their blue, is look at the way it looks colour-wise. It hasn't aged well. It's like an old telly with the big backs on them. Just don't look good anymore. They might have been expensive at the time, might have been big, but that is, again, no doubt, if you used it, hey, it probably does what it says. It's probably good, but I couldn't forgive it for its looks whenever I stood over it. So yeah, just had to throw a bonus one in there. Hope you enjoyed it. So as I say, today's video, just a little bit of fun. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If there's anything I have missed, do let me know in the comments below. It'd be really interesting to see if I have missed any. If I've missed quite a few, which I probably have, I'll happily do another video on it. I think it's just a good bit of fun. Cheers us all up a little bit while we're here in lockdown. So as I say, if you did enjoy today's video, please hit that subscribe button, please like, please comment below, and look forward to seeing you all very soon.